Welcome to Practical Motoring. We're going to talk a little bit about driving on gravel, dirt and sand. When we're driving on gravel, we want to try and keep the speeds down slightly to be ensure that we have enough time to react to the conditions, whether it be driving around a corner or up a hill or actually braking itself. Travelling on dirt or gravel, especially in a convoy, we have to be very aware of the dust. In outback areas in Australia, we can come across bull dust or gravelly roads where it may need us to actually slow down and maintain a gap of 100, 200, even up to 500 metres between vehicles to ensure that we have enough visibility to see the road and make correct decisions. Driving on sand comes down to a couple of key points. 1, momentum, and 2, tyre pressures. We really need to consider what sort of tyre pressures we want to run to be able to create that nice flotation. The main key with tyre pressures is we're not increasing the width of the tyre, we're increasing the length of the tread. That creates a nice flotation device that keeps us up on top of the sand. So we're floating along instead of bogging down. Now remember, be aware that your tyre pressures are reduced and that you will need to take a larger turning circle and never ever drive across a dune. Only straight up or straight down. Welcome to Practical Motoring. I'm CarAdvice, and we're going to talk a little bit about driving in mud. Now, mud is one of those mediums that can be a lot of fun, but can also catch us out very easily. When we're looking at a mud puddle or a muddy track, what we always want to do is try and walk it first, see where we're going to go, see where we can actually drive, and think about where we're actually going to lose traction. So on a puddle like this, we're going to get a nice little bit of a stick, walk through, checking the depth of the bottom and checking the firmness of the bottom as well, making sure that we're actually not going to belly out and we can maintain that traction all the way through. Then what we're going to need to do is actually generate and maintain a little bit of momentum. So we are going to spin wheels possibly through mud. We're not talking speed, but we will need a little bit of momentum to actually carry us through and churn through the slop. We don't want to stop in the middle, because if we stop in the middle, we may not be able to get going again. If need be, you may want to throw some rocks or some material into the hole to fill it out a little bit, but please be aware, never throw long sticks or logs into a hole, as what they can do is that you can flick up and get jammed up against your vehicle underneath. They can do damage and you can become very stuck and it becomes a very difficult recovery. So if you're going to use logs or sticks, use very short ones and put them across the track, not lengthways. You may also need a guide because it's very easy to lose your wheels and your wheel placement in the mud. You may think you're going straight because the ruts are forcing you straight, while in reality you're actually driving sideways, pushing the vehicle along like this, making it very difficult for yourself and the vehicle. And don't forget, the more enthusiastic you are in mud, the longer it takes to clean the car at the end of the day. Welcome to Practical Motoring. I'm CarAdvice, and we're going to talk a little bit about traversing rocks and ruts. So what we want to try and do is actually pick a line that's only going to expose one wheel at a time to the hole. That way we maintain traction on 3 wheels as much as possible. Now we are going to need a little bit of momentum to actually carry our weight through the obstacle, and we do want to be in low range because we want to keep it nice and slow and controlled. Now, in a dry weather condition, we can actually try and traverse this rut. We'll straddle the rut itself. We'll have one wheel on the high ground over here and one wheel on the high ground over here. That works fine when we've got the traction in dry weather. If it was wet and slippery, we may actually position ourselves in the rut in the first place to actually avoid sliding in during our ascent. If we slide in, we may hit the side of the rut and actually do damage to the wheel or tyre, panel damage, or in a worst case scenario, carry our momentum and roll the vehicle over. So remember, get your observer out, make sure that they help you pick the right line, walk the track before you attempt it, and if need be, give it a miss. When we're climbing rocks, there's a few techniques that we want to use to try and maximize the available traction and make life easier for the vehicle itself and for us driving. First of all, we may want to lower our tyre pressures. What that does is it allows us to have a better grip on the terrain. If, like in our Ford Everest here, we have a rock mode, we would actually program that in on our vehicle. That is going to give us the best advantage we can have. While we're climbing, we may also want an observer so we can actually maintain that correct line and maintain the correct speed. Hi, welcome to Practical Motoring. My name's Carl Egenheisen, and today we're going to talk a little bit about river crossings. Our main aim is to obviously pass through the river safely and environmentally friendly. Firstly, we need to actually check out the river crossing. We need to look at the bottom, see where we're actually going to drive, and especially see where our exit is. We're about to enter our river now, so we have checked our depth and we've checked the surfaces underneath and obviously our exit as well. So as we enter nice and gentle, we don't want to rush in and create too much of a splash. What we're doing is we're generating a nice even bow wave. So we are in low range in drive in this automatic. If we're in a manual, we would be in second gear. Just enough momentum to push ourselves through without actually doing any damage to either the vehicle or the environment. And as we come to our exit, what we will do is actually just pause slightly in the water to allow the water to actually drain out of the vehicle. It does two things. One, it stops the erosion on the track, and two, it also helps the vehicles behind, giving them a more solid base to exit the river.
Hi guys, this is Practical Motoring, and today I'm going to show you a few things about the Ford Everest that can help it take the sting out of towing.
The Ford Everest offers permanent four-wheel drive and a grunty 3.2 litre 5-cylinder turbo diesel mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. One of the features that makes towing life much easier with the Everest is its reversing camera, which shoots out a virtual line from the tow bar, allowing you to reverse up to your trailer perfectly. While most states allow you to tow at the posted speed limit, some car makers like you to travel a little bit slower. Ford Australia recommends you stick to a maximum of 100 km an hour when towing with the Everest for the first 1600 km of run-in. To help counteract the dreaded trailer sway, the Ford Everest features trailer sway control, which is built into the stability control system and can help counter the trailer's sway by braking individual wheels on the vehicle and even reduce engine power if necessary. The Ford Everest Titanium has a 3,000 kilo brake towing capacity and a 300 kilo towable download. When towing off-road, the Ford Everest terrain management system should be used to tailor the vehicle to suit the terrain you're towing across. So, if you're towing in sand, then select sand mode. You should also drop your tyre pressures, as well as those on your trailer. And if you're towing on a wet, muddy track, then make sure you reduce your speed to suit and, as much as possible, stick to the crown of the track to reduce the risk of sliding off the track. Designed and engineered in Australia with towing in mind, the Ford Everest is a robust towing platform that can take you from the boat ramp to the back and beyond.
Welcome to Practical Motoring. I'm Carl Eganisen. Today we're lucky enough to be in our Ford Everest. Now this vehicle is fitted with our terrain management system. It's a very intelligent traction control system that actually allows us to dial the vehicle in for the type of terrain we're tackling. So this vehicle has 4 modes plus a hill descent control function. So what we actually do, if we're going through snow, gravel or grass, dial the vehicle in for that type of terrain. Now what that does is actually modifies the vehicle for us already. It'll change the gearing, the traction control system and the throttle control so that we can actually mitigate that wheel spin that you normally expect to see on those slippery terrains. If we're in sand, we dial it into sand mode. Once again, it'll actually back off the traction control system, give us a larger throttle, and enable us to get that momentum that we need to travel through sand without bogging down. And when things get really rough, well then we can put it into rock crawl mode. Now what that does is it tightens everything up for us. It's a very aggressive traction control system and it enables us to have that nice, precise, slow movement that we want when we're going across some very large boulders in some very extreme terrain. Our hill descent control function does exactly like it sounds. It'll actually hold a set speed that we can modify using our cruise control buttons down a hill, forward or reverse, and keeps us nice and slow and controlled all the way to the bottom. It'll actually apply the individual brakes as needed. So you're not going to get a situation where all 4 wheels are locked up and you begin to slide.